Hi guys, now I'm going to show you how you can build your first email campaign in iRealty. To do this, go into the Emails tab, and then you'll bring you to a menu that has a list of all your previous emails. Hit the green plus button, and then you'll be given a couple of options. The first one is the new email, and this is the one that we'll be doing today. So to do this, first you must select a title, and then you can choose a template. There is another video on how to build these templates. However, the email builder is a good kind of way of learning how to use this because you can actually go and change the template in the email builder itself as well. Once you're happy with it, hit save and start editing. And the first thing it's going to do is ask you whose details you want to be displayed. The first one is a specific agent, and this is the one we'll choose today. So you can choose the agent's details you want to have displayed, hit select, and it'll add them in there. If you're sending out an office-wide email, but you want it to come from the subscriber's agent, choose this option, and depending on who's receiving it, will depend on then who the details will have at their email. As you can see now, if I scroll down, you'll have the agent details down here. If these are incorrect and need to be changed, this needs to be done in the My Details/Agent Details section, just because it needs a reference point if you are using the subscriber's agent option. So as we have this template already built, I'm going to make my way throughout this and add the content in. So the first section we have is the logo banner. This should autofill for you. If you do need to drag one of these in, they do appear over here on the left-hand side. So what I can do here though is I can hit change style and then go in here so I can actually upload a different image. So you can do something from a computer, something from the iRealty library, where you can copy an image address and paste it in there. Secondly, you can change things such as the size. So I'm going to change it from 125 to 80, and you can see that's changed, or I can even increase it to something like 530 to 9. I'm going to set this one today at about 150, just so it appears correctly. You can also change things such as the padding around this section, as well as the background color. However, this should be pretty well branded for you. Next, in this template, we have an image section. So in here, this is where we usually see someone do some sort of banner image, maybe what's going on in the area, or a seasonal image such as Christmas or Easter, just to grab the subscriber's attention. So to change this image, press edit, and there's three ways you can add this in. The first way is to upload it. So this is the same way you would attach a file to an email. Next, we have the iRealty image library, which is a library that's built for each client that goes through and stores any images used in the past. The final option is from the URL. So if I right click on an image, you'll see if I copy image address, I could paste that in there. But today I'm going to use the iRealty image library, and I'm just going to grab one of these property images here. Next, we have a goes to link. This is where you can redirect subscribers if you want them to go through to a different link if they click on the image. For example, if you maybe have like an advertisement for a competition and you want to send them to that form, or if you have a photo of a property and you want to send them to a link to that one. Today, I'm going to leave that one blank. You'll notice that when it loads in, it'll be auto-sized to the width of the template, but it can extend vertically as much as it wants. I would recommend not using any portrait images, as people will be viewing this on their phone and you don't want them to just have to scroll, and it'll extend your newsletter quite exponentially. Next, we have our fact sheet. So these appear in the lead section, and these are links to landing pages that have a bit of information about a certain topic in the property market. You can edit these, so if I hit edit, I can go in there and change certain features about each one. You'll notice each fact sheet has three different boxes. The first one I'll talk about is the text displayed. So this is actually what we'll be viewing on the email. So if I wanted to change this to buying, instead of buying a property, I can hit save, and you'll notice that this text here will change. The second option is the URL. We have landing pages built for you, so you shouldn't need to change these unless you want to redirect them to a website or a blog post that you've created or you find interesting. The top box is what the category of fact sheet is. So this is really important if you decide to change these two to match up these ones here with what is in this text displayed and the URL. So that is because technically I could change this to selling a property, this link to a selling link, but if I leave this as buying, we're going to be notifying you saying that they've done a buying click and also profiling that subscriber as a buyer because that's what the system has been told. You can have between 2 and 5 fact sheets in this section. So for example, if you don't have to deal with anything with rentals, I can go do not show, hit save, and that will save those details in there for you now. You can also hit change style and go in and change things such as the color of the font, the size, the type of font, the boldness, everything like that. And that follows throughout the whole template. So if you notice where it says change style on a section, that relates to the aesthetic, so how it looks in the email. When you see something that says edit, that usually means you can actually change the content and what is actually being displayed in the email. As I mentioned at the start of the template, you can actually rearrange the email within the builder. So what you also might want to do is rearrange the actual email different to the template. So for example, I want to move this fact sheet up above the image so it almost looks like it's part of the logo banner. To do this, you can grab it within the preview option and drag it up. However, I find it easier to do it on the right-hand side using the outline view. Now you'll see that these two are connected and next to each other. After this, we have a text section and an article combined. So in this section, it's a nice little hybrid between our text box and also our article sections, which we'll go into further on. Text boxes are really easy to use. They're just a general area where you can type in your message. I wouldn't recommend doing anything over about 250 words. Reason for that is we're trying to keep these as condensed as possible and share as much information in a small space, especially as a lot of people view these on their phones. But secondly, we can tell you someone opens things and clicks things, but we can't tell you if they've actually read it. So I'll show you a quick little way of how I would suggest adding in content if it's like a large market report or a long kind of report that is about 700,000 words. Because when you type it, again, we can't tell you if they've actually read it. The main tool I will show you though as well in this text box is the personalization one. So if I hit personalization, I can go subscriber first name. And what that does is it will autofill when the email sent out to the subscriber's first name. So for me, it will say hi Angus. For you, it would say hi your first name. That does mean that you need to make sure that your information that you have coming through either in a manual import or in your CSV is correctly input, because obviously the computer will just put in the subscriber's first name that it receives. After that, in this section, we have one of our articles here. So I'm not going to touch on this one just here at the moment because I think it's going to be better to do below. But as I was kind of discussing before, if you have a long text section and you want to include some other content, what you might want to do is add a button underneath it that links to the full article or the full PDF. So to do that, I'm just going to grab a button section from the left-hand side. You can either drag it into the template where you like, or you can drag it over here. I personally find dragging on the right-hand side is a bit easier. So now you can see here there's a button. So what you can do is have your intro text that's about 200 words long, giving a bit of an overview of what's going on. And then if I hit create, I can have the title be read more, and then I could have a URL to the full article, or I can actually upload files from your computer. So if I hit the little blue folder and the little green plus button, I can upload files from the computer here. So I think that's a really good way of having the content be there. However, it's not just text. It means that they can interact. So if you wanted to follow up with those contacts that did click on that read more button, you do have the ability to when you're looking through the reports.